Chapter 16. Emma. The house was quiet when Emma woke the next morning. She looked to the side, but the bed was empty. Where was everyone? Pa would most likely be at work, and Ginny and Benjamin would be at school. But where were Carrie and Samuel? Emma was surprised they had let her sleep in. Of course, usually she was awoken by Ginny first thing in the morning. After a quick stretch, Emma rolled out of bed and dressed for the day. Her calico dress was nothing fancy, but it was one of her favorites, as evidenced by the fraying hem at the bottom. She opened the bedroom door, expecting to hear Carrie cleaning in the kitchen or see her sitting in the living room sewing. But there was nothing but silence. "Hello?" Emma called as she walked toward the kitchen. The dishes were washed and drying by the sink, save for a plate with a few pancakes on it, obviously left for her. A wave of hunger knotted her stomach as she realized she had missed dinner the previous night in her effort to avoid William. Grabbing the plate, she sat down at the table, and that's when she saw the note. Her name was at the top, written in her sister's handwriting. "Emma, William is gone. I do think you should have listened to his story, for Joseph's death wasn't really his fault. We decided to let you sleep as it seemed you needed it. So to make sure it was quiet for you, I decided to help Pa out in the clinic today. Samuel is working in the garden should you need anything. I pray you find peace, and we'll see you this evening. Carrie." Emma frowned at the paper as she cut the pancake into pieces and brought a forkful to her mouth. Had she been wrong not to listen to William? It wouldn't be the first time her emotions got the better of her, but usually she had a way to make it right. If William were gone, though, there was no way to make it right. But maybe it was better this way. After all, even without the lying incident, he wouldn't have stayed, and Emma would still be alone. Wouldn't she? She pondered that question as she finished eating the pancakes. When she was finished, she washed her dishes and then looked around the room for what else she could do. Carrie was such a good homemaker that items were rarely out of place. Emma wandered into the living room, but everything was put away there as well. She would venture into her father and brother's room, but they had often said they would rather she didn't. So she wandered back into the girls' room to grab some knitting. As she reached for the knitting bucket beside the dresser, another flash of white caught her eye. It was another note, but this one wasn't written in her sister's curly script. Instead, her name was spelled out in a crooked print. Intrigued, Emma grabbed the note and sat down on the bed to read it. "Dear Emma, I hope Carrie left this for you. I'm sorry things ended so poorly between us, and I wish I could go back and tell you the moment I knew, but I was scared. I haven't felt affection for a woman since Catherine, but I was feeling attraction to you, and I was afraid you would be angry when you found out. I don't know if you felt the same way I did, nor do I know if I could have offered you the kind of life you want. Perhaps it worked out this way for a reason, but I wanted to thank you for caring for my injury and to let you know how sorry I was. If I could go back in time and make sure Gilbert was truly secured and bring Joseph back to you, I would. William Cook." Emma fought the emotion as she read the letter again and pored over each word. Had she acted too hastily? It didn't matter now, of course. William was gone, and she had no way to reach him. The enormity of that hit her, and the letter fell from her hands as she curled into a ball and let the tears come once more. William. "What took so long?" Jack Hardesty asked, as William deposited Monroe in his care. "This was supposed to be a quick and easy hunt." "I took a bullet," William growled. "I had to take a few days to heal. I was lucky it hit a fleshy part and didn't cause other damage." He had been grumpy all day since picking Monroe up from the Sage Creek jail. William had thought once he left the town that the image of Emma would fade from his mind and he would remember the thrill of collecting bounties. But Monroe had been nothing but a hassle since they left. William had bound his hands to the front of the saddle, and then, after getting Monroe mounted on the horse, had tied his feet to the saddle belt to keep him from kicking. Monroe had fought, but not as much as William had expected. Instead, he had pleaded his case the entire ride. William grew so tired of his voice that he almost knocked the man out. "I have another mark," Jack said. "You think you can handle it, or should I give it to someone else?" "I can take it," William said. Whether he could or not, he needed to. He needed to stay busy to keep his mind and his heart from wandering to the woman he had left behind. "Good," Jack said. "Well, here's the cut from Monroe, and the next mark." He slid a plump white envelope and a folded piece of paper across the desk. William picked up the envelope first and glanced inside to see it bursting with bills. Then he unfolded the piece of paper. A grim-looking man with a long, thin face stared back at him. William scanned the paper. Tom Too Tall Herman was wanted for bank robbery, last seen near Dallas, Texas. It was perfect. Far enough away to put distance between Emma and himself, and with a paycheck of $1,000, it was a nice job that should be challenging enough to keep him on his toes and his mind off a certain woman. "Looks good. I'll head out now." Jack nodded and turned his attention to Monroe. After a quick stop at the mercantile to load up and replenish items he needed, William repacked his saddlebag, mounted Bessie, and headed toward Dallas. If he was lucky, he might make it by nightfall, but more than likely he'd be sleeping under the stars.